So good afternoon everyone. So I hope everybody is fine, safe and at your home. So this video is the creation of the continuation of the project which we have left yesterday. So let me remind what you have done. So yesterday we just finished this stuff where we had created a form to read the student name, roll number, subject name and obtain mark. And once we read any student, let's say color roll number 10101 or let's any subject of let's say now programming and obtain mark let's say 98, and if I do it to mark sheet, what you get is the data that will pass on to the through the text box is populated onto the grid view. So I can pass as number of subject as possible here, which is not a good idea actually. We'll have some limitations. We should put some limitations on this, which we shall put it say now. So those subjects. Perfect. So we did it with the four subject. Now what we really want is to calculate the percentage and evaluate the grade of the student. But before that, I want to have here one more column that states that if a pass mark, if obtained mark is less than the pass mark, then this will display a false. This will display a failed. Otherwise, this will display the pass. So let's correct this first before we proceed to the next level. Let me right click, go to designer, and let me click on this grid view. And let me also add edit columns, and let me add one more column onto the bottom. So I just select the bottom one and I will put it status. Okay, I just put it S3 and I'll put it status, which is by default either pass or false. So let me just click OK and let me close this. Now I have one more column over here, and if you run it, you will see that. Okay, let me put the string in for RAM, roll number 99, subject name is programming, obtain mark is 100, and click on enter marks. Yeah, there is a error because no row or the columns have been added over here. So I just want to correct this first. So I just want to pass some value over here. By default, I'm passing it null, nothing right now, and then I pass something more. Let's say RAM, and then roll number is let's say 99, and then subject name is programming, and it's 100. So, okay, it's still a problem here. Uh, Okay, no rows can be added to a DataGridView control that does not have a columns. Columns must be added first. Okay, so we have not called it. Let us see what columns we have here. Let me see. Let me go to designer and let me just click on here and let me just click on edit columns. Oh, unfortunately all the columns have been deleted. That's why we're having this error. Even the control that won't be able to fix this issue. Now let us go and add this column before we proceed to the next one. Unfortunately, the data has been deleted. So let's add. So we'll also put my S, and then we will put add to S n. Let's put C. Any variable. I'm going to put it S dot arrow. I'm going to click add, and here I need another table called subject name. So I'm going to use subject S name, and I'm going to write the subject name. Subject space name, click on add, and again I need something called full mark, so I'm just going to put FM and I'm making it a full mark. If you are a full mark, click on add, PM, and then pass mark, click on add, and obtain mark, let's OM, and I'm making it obtain mark. And also I need a variable called status, so stat, and then I'll just make it status. So the variable, the name should not repeat or node should not match anywhere in your program. Let's click OK now, and let's click close, and let's click OK. This is where I missed last time, so I have to click OK, and everything should be populated something like this. So we have serial number, subject name, full mark, pass mark, and somewhere there must be okay. Let us again see what I have the obtain marker. So obtain mark is missing out here, so let us put one more column called obtain mark. This is called OM, and let us put this as obtain mark. Let's click add, close, and now we have obtained marks. Okay. Now we have everything aligned. Serial number, subject name, full mark, pass mark, and obtained mark, and the status. Let's run and check this first. Let me choose the student name is Ram, roll number 1001, and subject name is lecture programming, and the marks we obtained in lecture 99. Add 2 marks and we got everything right. But you'll see the status is blank because I have put the status blank. I want to validate the status on the basis of the obtained mark which will be more than the pass mark. If it is more than pass mark, then I want to display a pass. Otherwise, I want to display a fail. So let's see how we can do this. This is the first validation that I want to apply after DataGridView. So let's see how I can do that first everyone. So here I need to check the obtained mark. And here I can make it now. I can make things clear. Also, I can have some variable here, so I can just create a variable called string status equals to null for now, and I can check if obtained is greater or equal to. I need to convert it to integer txt. Okay, we do not have a. Okay, we can just make it greater or equal to 45. Very easy. Because this is a constant variable, 45 is constant. If it is so, then what you will do is you simply make status equals to pass. Else we are going to make a status equals to fail. Status equals to fail. That's it. Okay, so we just make it if obtain is greater or equal to 45, then status equals to pass. Otherwise, status equals to fail. Okay. Now we want to apply the status here. So we will just apply the status which will get updated upon the basis obtained. On the basis of the marks the student has obtained. Now let's check it out everyone. Let's put in surgical programming. Roll number 1001. Subject name. Okay, the student name is programming actually. Sorry, student name is anything else. The student name is Ram, and obtained mark is let's say 100. Extra mark, and you can see this is a pass here, and that's another subject that is something on network, and under network we only obtain subject 44, and then I click on activate, and you see age fell further. Let's say HTTP, and I just want to make it for 21, and if I click F2 marks you can see it still fell, and I can have let's say website design and development, and we only obtain let's say 76, and I click on F2 marks and you see it's passed. So you also got a status here for the pass and the failed if you want. Great. We got the pass and the failed. Perfect. Okay. So now what else to be done? Now we need to calculate percentage. We also need to calculate percentage, and we also need to evaluate the grade, and we'll be encountering different types of issues in here. So your full mark is basically 400, or let's say whatever the marks, number of times the button is clicked, the full marks is updated by 100. So I can create a variable called, or yes, I can create a variable over here, or I can create one variable here, level full mark, which is initially equal to 0. Okay, which is initially equals to 0, and every time the button is clicked, this full mark plus equals to 100. Let's say for example, this is equals to 100. So every time a button is clicked, this full mark will be 100 will be assigned to the full mark. And also we also need a total obtained mark. So let's calculate total obtained mark. So total obtained equals to initially 0, and now total obtained should be equal to the value of added upon each button click. So I can do it here if you want. I can do it below this one, or I can do anywhere I want. So I'm going to do it over here. Later on, once you run the for loop, we will be doing it by using a for loop to be iterating for each and every rows and the column. But since we do not have any idea of the for loop, so we are using we are depending upon the button click type of events. So let's see how we can do that. So let's see. So we want to calculate total obtained. So total obtained in this case is also equal to obtained. So this is what this will do is now total obtained initially is 0, and this is updated by obtained mark every time. A new obtained value is entered through our text box. Okay. So we calculated the total full mark, we calculated the total obtained mark. The next thing that is done, which is to be done is to calculate the percentage, which can be done by clicking some other button. For example, I want to click this button here. I want to click this button, and once I want to calculate the percentage, and I want to display the percentage. So how can I do that? So I can do that percentage calculation by I can do the percentage calculation by creating a variable called, let's say I just want to create a variable. Okay, double percent equals to, okay, I can have a capital double or a small double. That really makes no sense. That has the same meaning, but I prefer writing a double, the capital double full sorry double percentage is equals to, now we have total obtained by total, and we have full mark into 100. So I declared this variable outside this function because I want this function to be accessible by all other any other function. So I'll be explaining about the functions later on. We'll be having a detailed session on the function, but let's try to understand this for now. So percentage is calculated. Now what we want to do in this case is, now to we want to calculate, display it on the level. So LBL level. So I think the level has not been named. So let us name the level. So this one I just want to have LBL percentage. Then to be assigned the LBL percentage, LBL percent, and this one I want to be assigned the LBL grade. Okay, this one I want to be assigned the LBL grade. Okay, so let us click on that to mark it again, and let us go over to this button. And what I want to do is, I want to just do LBL percentage equals dot text equals to percent dot percentage dot to string. So this is what we learned yesterday, everyone. So this way we can calculate the percentage as well. So let's see now, student name Ram, roll number 1001, subject name let's say English, and obtained marks is 87, H2 marks, let's say Nepali, 58, and then H2 marks it, let's say social, 89, mark sheet, and again let's say last subject history, let's say 87, and let us say geography, and let's say geography it is, let's say 191 to mark sheet, and you got this level. All the marks population onto the grid. And if you click on this button, you will see that we have obtained the percentage. And by default, everything is a pass, so it's no issue over here. Let us say we have one more subject called uh, mathematics. And mathematics, we only get, let's say, 44. 44. So if I click add to mark sheet, and if I calculate percentage, still I am able to calculate percentage, but I have not been able to calculate the grade. I have not used any logic to calculate the grade. Now in order to calculate the grade, I have to make sure that the student does not fail in any of the subject. So we can control this very easily here. So we can create one more variable here. So one more variable called bool, and I just can make it bool, and any uh, status bool, anything that x, let's say for example bool x. Now let's say if obtained mark in any of the subject is greater or equal to 45, or let's say bool x equals to 4, now it's true, it's by default. And now by default, if anything, if obtained mark in any of the subject is less or equal to 40, sorry, if obtained marks are less or equal to 45, status equals to pass, but else status equals to fail. And there I have to add one more thing. I have to add one more thing, everyone, and I have to also make x equals to false, because by default the student fails. For example, if his marks in any of the subject is less than 45, he becomes fail. I am not updating it here because you have already defined this as true. In any of the subject it becomes fail, then that means it is considered to be fail. Now here I can check it here, everyone. So here I can check in a line. Now I can check, and I can check if And one thing more that you'll have to do over here is, one thing more you have to do over here is, you also need to validate this obtain mark. So you need to validate this option that the obtain mark cannot be more than 100. Okay, the obtain mark should have to be more than 100. So what I can do is I can go over here right now and I can just make sure if integer.parse and txt obtain mark dot text is greater or than 100. So what you'll have to do is now you'll have to display some error message. I can display some error message here. I can just tell message box also, and I can just tell this is invalid marks. Yeah, this is invalid marks. If it is so, I will just display this is invalid mark. I need to remember it. Sorry, I just made a mistake everyone. So let me correct it with the bracket. I need to bracket it because I am converting this text to integer value. If it is so, then I am displaying this as invalid mark. This is message box dot show. Otherwise, then if it is not there, then I'll just put everything on the else condition and one bracket here and one closing bracket here. Everything does perfectly now one. Now the marks should be also more than 100. At the same time, now we also want to display the percentage. Now for displaying the percentage, it has to meet some criteria. At the same time, the student has to pass. So let's say now, if I can state it very easily, if percentage is greater or equal to 80, then I can just tell LBL grid dot text equals to distinction. So this is what I can mention over here, and also I need to check and x double equals to true, and the student has to pass in all the subjects. It should not be false. And I have to check another condition if percentage is greater or equal to, let's say, 60 and percentage is less than 80, and also same time x double equals to true. So we have to check three conditions. So we'll just make LBL grade equals to first equals to now, let's say, merit grade is equal if the conditions of the percentage being more than 860 and percentage less than 80 is satisfied and he has passed in all the subjects. Else if percentage is more or equal to, let's say, 45 and percentage is less than, let's say, 60, then, and also we need to check one more condition here. We also need to check x is true, that means he has passed in all the subjects. In that case, LBL grade, the text is now equal to a pass grade. That's a pass grade. Otherwise, he is supposed to be failed. Else, I can just tell LBL grade equals to not applicable. N/A, not applicable. Okay. Let's try this and run and check. Let's use any subject or RAM 1001, subject name programming, obtain mark 100, add to mark, and he is pass. Again, let's say network 1002, sorry, 190 marks, net marks. Let's say PP 99, and let's say WD, let's say 76, and we have seen that he is passed in all subject and it's a distinction grade. Perfect. Now let's run it again and let's check it again. Now let's take it for Sam, roll number 1002, subject name, let's say programming. And in programming, he let's say only 51 at 2 marks, and there is another subject for network. Network, he got only, let's say, 44. Okay, and in WD he got, let's say, 55. and in PP we got, let's say, 46. So still you can see he has filled in one of the subject, let me see the grade, and the grade is now NA and percentage is calculated. That's absolutely fine, everyone. So this is how we were able to validate. Now what I want to validate over here is I just want to validate. Okay, so we'll stop the video for now and I'll catch you in the next video.